Placing an empty table. We can insert tables using the table command. So we're going to go up. I'm right now in my annotate tab, and I'm going to go over to the table command, and I'm going to place in a table here, and it'll bring up the insert table. Likewise, we can do this from the home tab as well. I can come over here and pick on this table button, and it will fire up the insert table. Now we're going to place an empty table, which is we're going to start from an empty table. Alright, down here we have our preview window of what it looks like. We also can link in from Excel spreadsheets, and we can actually do data extraction from objects. But we're going to start with an empty table. We want to choose our insertion behavior. We have two different ways we can do this. We can specify the insertion point, and we can also set the number of columns and number of rows. So let's say I want to create something like a window schedule, and I want to go with a window schedule that is let's say it is or let's go with a parts list. Let's say I go with a parts list, and the parts list is 7 rows and it's 5 columns. So I got 5 columns. I'm going to go with 7 rows. I can adjust, I can set my column width, and I can set my row height. I can change these later, so it's not such a big deal. Down here I can set my cell styles if I want. Remember, I can go in there and put the Packers title in here, or I can come in here and I can put in the the header, or in my data I can come in here with the Packers data cell, etc. So I can choose whatever type I want. I'll say OK. Now I get the table at my cursor, at my crosshairs, and at my crosshairs I have the table, and I pick, and now it's ready to place my data in it. So I end up with a row for the title, a row for the headers, and 7 data rows. Alright, and I'll put in, say, parts list. Alright, I'm going to close the text editor. And that, I got one method of putting it in my new table. The next method is I'll go up to my annotate and go to table. The next method is a specify a window. If I specify a window, I tell it how many columns I want, and it'll automatically adjust the number of rows accordingly. So I'll say OK. I'm going to come in and I pick. I'm going to drag. Depending on where I place my second pick, I don't get that many rows, or I can go down and I get a lot more rows. So depending on which style you want, I can say parts list, and I can close the text editor. Either way, I can specify the number of columns and rows by picking the insertion point, or I can do it by the window, and it will dynamically pick the number of rows for me, but it will pick the number of columns that I state. So I have two different ways of starting inserting an empty table.